Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in for the live. Now it's been a while since Christmas. I've just been busy, had a lot of things going on, and then the last thing I wanted to do, to be honest, was a live on a Sunday. I just wanted to sit down with the missus, but yeah, I've been itching to get back, and I thought I'd do a live as well. I was about probably the same for everyone else, really. Is December and last month, January, have been terrible for me. When I've been looking back on Squeegee, December's always been the worst month for me of the year in terms of taking in money, because obviously we're going to take a break for Christmas, although I've literally taken as little time as I can for Christmas. But you also get bad weather, so we lost days work there, and you get a bit more skips coming up, don't you, with the build up to Christmas and after Christmas as well. So January really was like a repeat of December for me in terms of the money you brought in, but that was all due to the weather. We've had them storms that last for 4 days. I know it was over a weekend, and we've lost a few days here and there. And I had my day off for my MOT. That was in December. So yeah, it's a combination of all that. So I barely made it through this month. I didn't. It was another loss really. I was £1,050 short of what I need to cover everything. So making sure everyone's paid and to have enough money left over to cover the operational costs of the next month running the business. I'd rather do it. That's me, bare bones zero, basically. And I was a bit under that. I also had my tax bill come in, a couple of days' notice. But luckily, I put money away every month for that. And what I'd put away had covered it. Even though I've dipped into it this year as well for some other problems that have come up, like we needed to replace our car, for example. And I go April to April when I save money. So I could use some of the money that I was going to put away for my tax fund. I kept that to help me out. So basically, I ended up being around £450 short instead for the month. So to get around that, I worked last Saturday, the 1st of Feb, and I've clawed most of that back. So it's put me on the even keel of what I need anyway. So I've covered my expenses this month of me running costs, operational of me side of it of the business. Obviously with kit failures and stuff like that, you can't plan for that. That's all going to be on top. So that's where I am. So it's make or break this month. If a lot of things go wrong or against me, the weather's bound to. What's probably going to happen is I'll just make it through again and then just do repeat again next month and then repeat the following month. Because last year, I think it was like this for the first 8 months. We were losing days' work because of the weather. It was hell of a wet, if you remember. All the farmers' fields are waterlogged and stuff like that. I think the weather was quite terrible. And then when you have a good month, what you tend to do is that profit you've made is basically feeding back in the other pots where you've had to get a bit of money from to put in your pot to see if through. Because I've got to make sure I've got enough money to pay all my family, really, who work for us. But I'm covering the bills anyway. So it might sound dramatic, but I'm sure I'll get through it. I've been in tighter spots. What I'm going to do as well is, you all right, Ched? You all right, Mark? You all right, Matt, as well? Cheers. I've just changed the format as well. I don't know if you've noticed for the live. So instead of the comments coming up in the comment box, I've made my screen a bit bigger. Just let me know if you prefer it the old way. So the comments will come up like this. You all right, Ched, mate? How are you? Always try and get your comment in the middle. There we go. Yeah, I was surprised to see you because I thought you sent a message earlier, didn't you, saying you might not make it. You all right, Mark? Hope everything's going well, mate. And you all right, Matt? Thanks for joining us. But yeah, it's I think it's just going to be a tough month. But I've been in these sort of places before. You get through them, don't you? Somehow, and sometimes things just land out of the sky, literally on your lap, and saves the day at the last minute. So I'm sure it'll be all right. I mean, I remember when I first started, I had a problem with me. Well, that was my problem with my van. And not long after that, another time, I think it must be about 3 years ago now, 2 or 3 years ago, the engine went in my van and I gambled everything. I just about used every single penny I had to pay for my van to be fixed. And I hired a van for a couple of weeks so I could still work in, which literally I was just breaking even, but it was just keeping work going. And I said to my wife after we paid everything, for all that. So I haven't even got enough to pay the mortgage. I'm banking on a good month's work, and it happened. If I'd sat on my arse and gave up, I wouldn't be here now. So that was a big gamble. I got through that, so I'm sure this month will be all right. So what I've decided to do anyway is go on YouTube, and I'm going to video every single day this month, and sort of like show you how my struggle is going to go this month and see if we'll make it. So it sounds, well, it's dramatic. It could all go wrong, couldn't it? And I'm sure I'll just probably find another way around it to keep going. But hopefully the weather's good to us and I'll make it anyway. So I just sent a message from Ched. You've all caught up after Christmas by Friday last week. Well done, because I remember you saying in one of your comments earlier, doing like 5 days in 4 days sort of thing. Yeah, I can't catch up. If I lose a day's work, I'm just a day late across the board. You're right, Nelly. Yeah, I know, mate. It's good to be back though. And yeah, get back into doing these lives again. I did a bit of prepping today. You've probably seen I've made a couple of videos, put them out. I filmed Saturday from part of my series what I'm going to do this month, like the Make or Break Survival Month, or whatever it is. I've called it in the playlist. That'll be coming out, I think, tomorrow. And then obviously I'm going to film tomorrow, try and make it that night and release it the following day, or even that night. But I don't think it'll just be too much for me to do. But I'm going to go for it anyway, because why not? But yeah, it's I think everyone's been struggling with work in terms because of the lousy weather we've had. It's frustrating, isn't it? And all you want to do is get back straight into it and get on. But with the work I've got booked in this month, it's about £8,100 is what I've got booked in. So I'm just praying that all gets done. There's no skips, or there's definitely no days lost because things are going wrong, or a bit of equipment's failed, my van, or the weather, all these sort of things that can go against you. It's great when it runs smooth, isn't it? And then I think when it goes bad, you get a run of bad luck. Matt saying, I never really get behind as we didn't have the really cold weather at the beginning of January. Which sort of seems surprising where you are down Plymouth, isn't it? You think it's going to be colder down there for some reason. I suppose it just depends on the weather, literally, doesn't it? And where you are. I'm near East Anglia, but slightly inside. So I'm in Cambridgeshire, so in Wisbech. But it got really cold. I mean, this morning when I woke up, I noticed it's all frosty outside. It's all on the sheds. The ground was all frozen. But it did start to warm up early in the morning as well. And I've still been going to the gym. I joined the gym because I started to put a bit of weight on because of Christmas, and I can't fit in my work trousers. They're just a bit too uncomfortable. So I'm like, right, I'm going back to the gym. I used to love doing my phys anyway. I haven't done much since I got out of the forces. Most of the time, to be honest, I'm too busy doing all this and the window cleaning. But yeah, I go to the gym 3 times a week, just basically on the treadmill running. And then at home, I'm just doing stuff with dumbbells. And hopefully one day I'll see the benefits of that. I try not to snack too much. I think I remember in one of Matt's videos, he's saying as well this year he's going to try and cut down on the spending, like the meal deals. They are good, but £4.50, whatever it is a day, mounts up, doesn't it? And it's like me, I get a loaf of bread, 47p, Aldi price match from Tesco's, 5 tins of tuna and an onion, and basically I just have tuna and onion sandwiches, and that covers me for the week. But it is nice sometimes though when you don't get these treats to just grab a coffee in it and stuff like that. But I just stick with the water and off I go. I don't know if you can see it, Ipswich Town. Less said about them, the better. Oh, it's frustrating listening to the Southampton game. Dave Does a Bit says, you've converted from traditional to water-fed pole. All right, you've altered all your work to get a week's spare every month now. Need to pick more up. All right, okay. So what you found is then probably, Dave, mate, is with your water-fed pole, it's sped everything up because obviously it's quicker than traditional because you're not having to do all that hard work with a ladder, I suppose, isn't it? And the cleaning the window can be quicker. And obviously you've got your head round now switching from traditional to water-fed pole, which is not easy thing to do because you just got to be confident when you walk away it's done, because when it's wet you don't know, do you? At least with traditional, you've cleaned it, you can see what it's like when you're finished and walk away knowing job done. But yeah, once you've done well there, And so what you found is it's giving you an extra week in a month. That's quite amazing to know, isn't it? So you can take on more customers, or maybe just fill in a couple of days and just have an easier month. But I suppose it depends on the money you need to cover for that month as well, isn't it? But I think with us lot, we just feel you got to work all the time because you never know what's round the corner or when something bad's going to happen, do you? That stops you from working. Yeah, Nelly saying these are the make it or break it months. Never changes. Everything is against us. Yeah. I mean, I've had some days where I'm working. I mean, like Matthew and Sophie, they're great and stuff, but when they know we're finished and it could be an early knockoff, it's quite nice. But I'm always thinking, right, we maybe could have fitted another clean in there or another two, but they're like, nah, finished, let's go home. And I remember we had a walk up one day and a guy just said, how much to clean my fascia softs and gutters? So I did a quote and I think it was £80. And I remember saying it'd be £80. And he says, I'll run to the cash point now. If you clean it, I'll pay you. And I was exactly needed that amount of money because it was the last day of the month for me. And I'd have broken even with paying everyone. So I said yes. And obviously Matthew and Sophie, when I turned around to tell them, because they didn't know at this point, were gutted because they're thinking we're going home. And I was like, well, think about me. That's paying you. And we got the job done, got the money. And like I say, some things just land on your lap when you need them to. And then all of a sudden you're back to high again, aren't you? But there's always something, always. Spent nothing on the food during the day in January. Oh, nice one. Is that also to try and lose weight as well, Matt? Because we tend to let ourselves go Christmas, don't we? And then the build up to it, you think, well, I'm going to get fat over Christmas, so I might as well start eating some of these treats now. I got a lot of Christmas tips this year in chocolate boxes as well. So the whole family have been tucking into them over Christmas and get rid of them. And as I'm getting older, I'm finding I'm putting on that weight a lot more easier than I used to. I can tell you that. But yeah, you've got to watch your pennies a bit, haven't you, when you have to. But when you're doing all right, it's nice to have a little treat to a coffee or something here and there, isn't it? No, I'm not saying you're fat. You're not fat, Matt. You're not. I am. I think I'm getting there. So I've got to do something about it, put it that way. And it's kind of working. No, you're right, mate. You're fine. And you've got enough children to feed as well now, haven't you? But yeah, it's you just keep working. But sometimes you've got to take 5 minutes, haven't you? Reset yourself. And then the next job seems to go a bit better because you're more up for it rather than just being slaving away all the time. Ched's just saying very easy to gain weight when you get older. I'm finding that out. My birthday's tomorrow, by the way, and I'll be 49. So next year will be 50 for me. And yeah, so I was going to take the day off work, but because it's like make or break survival mode for me, I'm going to be working instead, which is annoying because Matthew will always take a day off for his birthday. Sophie will always take a day off when it's her birthday. I did last year for once, so I said I'm going to do it every year. Nah, I'm sat there like Teresa's saying, shall I send the message? And I'm like, yeah, I've got to work. So I'm pretty gutted because the way I would have spent my birthday is my dog, she's 2 years old tomorrow as well. So we're born on the same birthday we share, basically. So I just said what I'd love to do every birthday is get up with her, go for a decent walk and have a couple of pints with her. That's all I want to do. But no, I'll be out working instead. And Sophie, she's gone up to Scotland today. She's got to sign bits of paperwork, which will help her get her job up there. So once she's got her job, she'll be able to go and settle completely up in Scotland. And then I'm going to be a bit more breathing a bit easier because that's a wage bill I haven't got to worry about covering. And that's more profit going into the business. So I'm obviously up Matthew's money with a bit of that. And I'm going to try and keep a bit so I've got more breathing room when these things go a bit Pete Tong. And obviously, I'm going to say to Matthew, you and me have got to cover all the work, or we've got to start looking at dropping bits of work. Ideally, I don't want to drop any as well. So I just seen Ched saying, happy birthday. You're 5 years ahead of me. It's handy to know. And you seem to have got everything all sorted when I speak to you and your rounds and everything. So maybe in 5 years' time, I'll have a grip of my rounds and life being a bit easier than what it is now. Cheers, Nelly. Thanks. And cheers, Mark, as well. I do have bits of grey hair, mate. I don't know if you can see them. They're a bit silvery in places around here. I don't know if you can just about see there's a colour change there and the sideburns. And when my hair's longer, they stand out more. If you keep it short, that's a secret. It doesn't show up, but I'm getting less, and it's probably going to go grey quick this year if I keep having months like this. Matt's saying I'll have your day off here tomorrow as my van's getting split charge sorted. So you're not working. All right, that'll make me feel better, mate. And hopefully you get your split charge sorted as well. It's through a friend, isn't it, when you let me know in the messages earlier. And yeah, that's another good point, isn't it? It's shocking. Like, you can spend all your money. I'm not going to give away who did some stuff on Matt's van, but he's found stuff that's not been done right. So it kind of questions what the rest of the install's going to be like. So whoever you go to have this work done, it's annoying, isn't it? If you find things haven't been done how they should do, and you've spent all that money, and then there's you cleaning a window for not a lot of money, but trying to get it to a perfect job because you don't want the customer to feel like you've let them down and stuff like that. But then you're spending all that hard-earned money on a big company that you think's cut corners, but you only find that out later. It's not a nice feeling, isn't it? So that's why we all have these standards of work, just in our work that we're doing, window cleaning, gutter clearing, or whatever, to do a good job. They should be as well when you spend all that kind of money. So yeah, hopefully Matt sounds like you've got it sorted anyway. It'd be interesting to see what difference it makes as well. Ched saying you've only been going 4 years. Wow. So, Ched, what happened with you then? Is it like a complete career change, was it? Or like redundancy? And so you thought, you know what, sod this, I'm going to do something else. I don't know if people know, but for me, I was in the military. I was in the RAF. The RAF regiment's what I was in. I did 23 years, got out, and I set myself up as a window cleaner. So it's coming up for 8 years now. I mean, it's amazing. There's some customers I've cleaned, they were pregnant, and now there's an 8-year-old child talking to me. It's unbelievable where all that time's gone. And so that's how I come around into it. And I wanted to do something for me. I didn't want to work for someone else. I've been doing enough of that. So yeah, as much as I do really love this job, I must admit, I just like being outside. I'm speaking to different people. It's different things you're doing. It's a bit of a buzz during the day because you're either behind schedule or you're getting ahead of it, and it changes throughout the day. And then sometimes you're really worrying if you're going to make it to the end of the day. And then like the weather's been bad, so then you're chasing it all the time, right up to the last minute of the month sometimes. So it's all good in it. I like it, but I would worry if I lost my job. I don't want to. Which is why I think when it comes to, we feel like, what's the point, and walk away. You just turn around and get on with it. Mark saying I'm 2 years younger than you. Short hair, mate. The grey comes when you turn 50. It probably will, all over as well. And Nelly's saying along with your eyesight, yeah, as soon as I hit 40, I needed glasses. Then they're saying my blood pressure's going slightly high and all this sort of stuff. And I'm sure I was aching more and I was slowing down at running compared to what it used to be like. And I'm sure I get hangovers for about 5 days if I was to overdo it on the beer. Yeah, it's not good, is it, getting old? Ched's saying, yeah, 18 years as an electronics engineer. With the MOD. It's a long time to be doing stuff with the MOD, mate. I know they don't pay much, do they? 15 years running bank holiday apartments in Blackpool, then sold the apartments just before COVID. Looked for other self-employed work and found window cleaning. So I take it's been 4 years then. You still obviously like your window cleaning. And do you find it like a breath of fresh air compared to what you was doing before? Because it's like something different, isn't it? Totally different. And I know when I first started doing myself, it's nice. It reminded me of being a paper boy, basically, where you're doing your paper round, delivering papers. You get to speak to someone. and you see their eyes light up and they're smiling, and all that kind of stuff. So you feel like you've done something good there. And it's like the end of the week being handed your paper round money. And that's what it felt like when I got paid money there and then by your customers. It's just the same as getting your first set of paper round money. You felt really chuffed, or I did anyway. And I still enjoy that. And I don't want to do anything else. As long as I've got me Alf, I'm going to keep going window cleaning. It's a lad I spoke to in Morrison's in the week. I think it was Thursday. Is driving a small van based in Elm, which is not far from Wisbeach where I was working. And yeah, it was interesting speaking to him. He'd been window cleaning for quite a while, working for another guy. And then he decided to go on his own. So he's been going about 6 or 8 months, I think, from speaking to him. And what he's doing is using water-fed pole for top windows, traditional for the bottom as a way of conserving water. And yeah, he's loving it. So it's nice having a chit-chat with him and just trying to say, you know, things will come, it will get there. And before you know it, it'd be too busy, which is true, isn't it? So yeah, it was good speaking to him, and he's saying the lad he used to work for had done that job for 40 years, and that's what I was saying. I know window cleaning basically is not going to make you a millionaire, and we're going to have our tough months, but some people like this guy have done it for decades, been through recessions, and like I was saying to the guy I was speaking to, you probably found some of your customers have actually lost their job because companies have folded, and then here you are as a window cleaner still going. So, you know, and I've been told by another customer who once was a window cleaner that I've got a job for life. So it's them sort of comments that stick with you. Sorry, Ched's saying a lot less stress, sometimes being out in the nice weather, yeah. And I'm happy doing window cleaning. I do like the odd chat, same here, mate. And seeing everyone's gardens is good. Yeah, you get lots of ideas, don't you, for your own, or how people have come through solutions. And what you find is you're not scared to ask your customer because you know each other, and they'll sort of like tell you what they did or where they got something from. And sometimes I pass these tips on to other customers as well, and they think it's great, but it's not my idea, it's someone else's. But yeah, I do really enjoy the window cleaning, which is why I think on months like this, it's tough, but you've just got to keep going, haven't you? Because you want to. I don't want to give up. I've often sometimes thought if I have to, I'll get a job in the evenings, just to tide me through the tough times till things get better, something like that, rather than just completely give up. You think how long it's took you to build things up as well. You know what I mean? And a lot of your customers rely on you, and they like you. They don't want anyone else to come and clean the windows. They like you, trust you, got a good rapport, and you know what I mean? They take notice of what you say. You take notice of what they say about the families. It's good like that. And they'd be sorry to see you go, I think. And then there's some people who totally need you because they can't clean windows or anything like that, and they're vulnerable people or classed as vulnerable. So you've got that rapport with you. They don't want you to go. So you feel like you'd be letting them down if you stopped as well. Nellie's saying, been window cleaning 35 years. Wow. When it's good, it's good. But when it's bad, it's bad. It is what it is. Yeah, I've been saying that to myself a lot last month. So it's nice to know then that all of us, from what Nellie's just said, that's 35 years. And the guy I was speaking to is working for someone who's done it for 40 years. That what I'm moaning about, what I'm going through, is no different than anyone else has been through before, really. And it probably is not going to change. But you have good days, bad days, don't you? And that's why now, instead of thinking I've got to work till 5, I'm more like, if I finish a bit earlier than normal, take it, go home. It's pointless being out on the glass every single minute of the day, isn't it? When I first started, sometimes I was working till 9 at night. You know, I'd pop home for my tea, go out to finish off the last couple of cleans. It was a nightmare. And I was working 7-day weeks. Once I've done 21 days straight. But obviously, on the days I was working on the weekend, sometimes I go out doing 2 or 3 cleans for that day, if you get what I mean. But it still stopped you having a whole day off, didn't it? But you was doing what you felt you had to be doing to make it pay. And then eventually you get the gist of it, get things, tightened up, rounds made a bit better, anything that makes a difference, and obviously you get quicker. So yeah, nice to know. Cheers, Nelly. Maybe I'll still be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years times. Yeah, Ched, I've been thinking my price rises. I am dying. It just shows you I need to put them up. But I'm still going to wait till April. I'm not going to do it now. As we've been going through cleaning, I've been doing my customer profiles, as I call it, just making sure the prices are what they would be now. So anyone that's below them, we know we've got to bump them up. And then also I've worked out the price increase. And then that's just in the notes. I'm going to have another meeting with my missus and the kids. We're going to sit down and talk about it individually on each house, because you do find every property is different. Even houses that are the same as each other, they're just slightly different to clean because the layouts of the gates or whatever. Just so we're as fair as possible, but want the impact that we're going to survive. I don't want to be in this position too often, put it that way. So yeah, the price is going up. And I remember last time I put my price up was nearly 2 years ago. It was a relief it felt, but it's just how quick you lose that because of the price of food and everything going up, and then only probably last year or so, and it's tight again, isn't it? You won't find a job more flexible and rewarding than window cleaning. I believe that. Honestly, I really enjoy it. It's nice to go out meeting different people, different age groups, isn't it? And all different problems in life, and just talk away. And most people, even when they got all these horrible illnesses, they just for 5-10 minutes want to have a normal chat with someone without having to keep going on about their illnesses or anything like that. Just so you can forget it and feel normal for a little while, and have a chuckle and a smile and a laugh with you. And it goes a long way. You never know what someone's going through, do you? So just be a bit careful what you say sometimes, how you react. And you also work out when things aren't right. There's a customer went up, I won't say where in case other people are watching, but it's one of my rounds. And luckily a neighbour come out, and I just said to him, is so-and-so all right? And they're like, yeah. I said, well, we just noticed they're not in. Money's not been left out because normally they do. And as the car's not there, we're not too worried. And then I was told that this person had sold their car December because ill health. And I was like, because that had been my next precursors. If the car was there, I would thought maybe are they in hospital? Something bad happened. But as it was, they're out at a club, and they're okay. So I just wanted to ask, because I hate it when customers who aren't ill and something just doesn't feel right. If they're the other side of the door, I could have been the person that could have called for help. So I always think when something's not right, or ask a neighbour, is everything's okay? And it's nice, isn't it? Look out for other people. Matt saying as well, never go back to working for someone. Yeah, because like Matt's story as well, and how he got into window cleaning and built himself up to where he is now. It is stressful working for yourself, I will say that. I've sometimes wondered if I was working in a factory, you come out off shift, get in your car, just switch off. I'd probably go straight to the gym on the way home, and then I'm home. But it wouldn't be, I don't think so. It wouldn't be enjoyable like this is, even though it's got its bits that get you worked up. And yes, it can be stressful. But if you learn to manage things, it's going to make you less stressful, isn't it? But the good thing is about when it does get stressful is you learn how to think on your feet as well. Or when a problem arises, you just seem to know there is a way out of this somehow. You just got to suss it out, and you're going to get there. That's one thing this job's definitely taught me. There's always a way somewhere. And if there isn't a way, there's a will just to get through it, and you will. And yeah, working for yourself. A lot of my time taken up in the evenings is doing all your invoicing and tracking all your expenses, keeping an eye on the money, the forecast for the rest of the month, that sort of thing. Because you've got to weigh all this up when you buy something or a bit of kit goes wrong, isn't it? And you just get there. You make it work as you want it to, basically. But yeah, I do enjoy window cleaning. I'm glad I did it. I like being outside. I don't like being stuck inside. So being in a factory wouldn't suit me. especially if it's a factory with no windows. And like I say, this job, everyone thinks it's a lovely job when it's in the summer, don't they? And then they sort of like, oh, bad weather for you today, but it doesn't bother me if it's raining or sunshine. It's just when it's too windy to work, or it is completely chucking it down where it's pointless going to work, or too cold. I just hate not working. That's what I hate. Ched's saying, yeah, there's always a solution, but you are the only one that can find it. Yep. And you know, if you ever ask people, they ain't going to tell you, are they? Because it's like my kids, they ask me, when I just play dumb sometimes, because I think they're only going to learn the best ways to figure it out themselves. And I'm not teaching them the solution. I'm trying to teach them how to think for themselves to find a solution. And sometimes you just have an idea, you try it, and it either works or it doesn't. And half the ideas I've got just spawn other ideas, which leads to the answer. And yeah, definitely get plenty of them in window cleaning. Little awkward problems, don't you? You just have these weird ideas. But yeah, Saturday was good. We got some fascia softs and gutters. You've probably seen the video out anyway, and a big gutter clear as well. And that's custom. I'm going to be doing a window clean here and there for them. It's a big property. They've got lots of old wooden windows that cost a lot of money, because you think how you got to paint them all the time. So we're in window cleaned all the time. They're a bit worried about that. And so hopefully we've got that sort of old job back as well. It was just taking up too much of my time when we're doing it regularly. For the money we're charging it, we're losing it. So we had to give it up. But I don't mind. She's a nice person as well. So yeah, we got all that done anyway. Today I've washed my van in and out. My pole's all been done and maintained. The gutter vac had a quick swill out. So that's all ready to go. So I'm all set for a week of work. And I haven't even looked at the weather because I don't want to. But I'm sure this week will be all right for work. I'll have a look later, actually. And the weather does its own thing anyway. But I've got to get out there and just go for it. I'm sure I'm going to get through this month okay. I just hope we don't get any bad storms that last for like 3 or 4 flipping days, because it can be a nightmare. So I was just pressing something and the screen was doing some weird and wonderful stuff. Right, what we got? I think we've got 13 people on currently right now. I've been looking. So that's cool for me anyway. Yeah, so I hope the live's all right and everyone's having a good Sunday. I don't know if you turn your van round on a Sunday or do you do it on a Saturday? Or some of your admins that squared it's done during a Monday to Friday. I'd love to finish work early enough to clean my van every day, really, give it a quick wash. But no, I'm normally working and then rush to get home for tea so we can try and have a chilled evening. Although I chill by going to the gym now. And the gyms are very busy as well, aren't they? Because I think a lot of people join the gym after Christmas. So they're having a good time, the old gyms, aren't they? Mark saying 20 more 6 days left of the month now. Yeah, it's so I was saying to my wife, Teresa, saying like, we really need a good month and it's a flipping short month as well. But luckily I've got plenty of work booked in. Yeah, 26 more days. And that's not that's including weekends, isn't it? Matt's saying, do you want to plug the window cleaners hub again? Oh, yeah. I was thinking plug is in plugging a wall. Yeah, look on Facebook. There's a group that's going. Matt's organised it all, and there's a few other people in there as well who's like moderators. Look for the window cleaners or window cleaners hub, and then bung it in on there. And hopefully, all this community of people that like to come in on the lives, we've got a Facebook group, so you can send messages, get in touch with each other, ask away questions or advice, or just generally have a moan about the day or the weather and put it on there and keep in touch with each other that way. Matt started all that up. It's all up there. It's a private, closed group as well. Nellie's saying, I've stopped looking at the weather forecast years ago. Now I just look out the window every morning and go from there. Yeah. It's like that Good Morning Vietnam, isn't it? When you listen to the soundtrack, you know, you got a window, open it. But yeah, I do look at the weather to try and make some decisions, but I know in the morning that's when I make my final. And it's mainly if there's a storm coming. And like the last storm, I was saying to my wife, it's pointless us working, but make the decision in the morning. And I was right. So it made me feel better. And luckily it was over a Saturday and Sunday. So the 4-day storm lost me 2 days of work on that particular one anyway. And made a mess of people's windows. But yeah, the weather is the weather and does what it does. Ched saying, I don't think I've ever been to the gym. I used to go in there a lot when I was younger. Obviously, in the military, they make you run and stuff. And then when you're bored, you go out for a flipping run, don't you? But yeah, other lads going in their gyms and you just do stuff. But mainly I liked it because it made my job easier. So if I went out and had a few too many pints, I could do a run quite easy with a hangover, no problem. So I wouldn't say I was a big fizz lord, but I was into it because it allowed me to have a few more extra pints than I normally would, I suppose, if that makes sense. But God, if I have about 3 or 4 pints now, I'll be hanging out the next day and a few days after that. Getting older gets harder, doesn't it? So I'm just going to have a drink of water. But yeah, I just want to fit in my trousers more comfortable again. So it's going to take a while, I think, quite a few months. And it's surprising. I'm tracking my food, my macros, as they're called. There's an app. Is it Chronometer, something like that? Use that. And it's working. And it's surprising. But as normal, all the good food is expensive, isn't it? And all the cheap food is the stuff you can afford, but that's the one that's bad for you. And Christmas is bad for me. Nellie's just saying to Chad, I don't even know anyone called Jim. I know, I can drink gin. But yeah, I don't mind going to gym. I'm liking it, actually. It's waking me up a bit. Yeah, so that's all I'm doing, really. But work, isn't it? It would have been nice to have had tomorrow off. But I'm going to be working instead. I don't even know how many cleans. I'm sure I've got 16 cleans tomorrow. So I'm just having a look on my squeegee app. So like I said, Sophie's gone up to Scotland. I don't know how long she's going to be there for because no one seems to know. And it's a long way to go. So no doubt she's going to be there for a few days or something. Muggins here still be paying even though I need it. But yeah, with me and Matthew working, I'm sure there's 16 cleans tomorrow. We're in a place called Leverington, which is near to where I live, so it's not far at all. Yeah, it's all just loaded, sorry. 18 cleans. It's a mixture. There's some small, but there's a few big houses. There's one for over 40 quid. There's two that are over 40 quid, and there's 3 that are over 30, and then the rest basically in the 20s down to 13. So it's a mixed bag, but I'm pretty sure me and Matthew can get through it as long as we just put a head down and get on with it. And it's not been too bad when it's just me and Matthew, because Matthew's not having to get the trolley out with Sophie out of the van. He can just get straight onto his pole and out, and then Sophie would have to fill up the trolley with water. So we're just cleaning. So, but on the big jobs, we do notice 3 of us is obviously a lot better. But I'm sure me and Matthew will make it. I'll tell him we got to, because otherwise we're catching up. It'll be added on to tomorrow. Sorry, Ched's just saying, neither. Right, 13 cleans and a quote for Ched. It's quite funny, isn't it, saying like 18 cleans, but the cleans could all be massive or all small, you know what I mean? But yeah, I've got a good day's work. If I get it all done, I'll be on a winner, and it'll be above what I need for the day to break even. So therefore, I'll be in the realms of making a profit. But at the end of the day, if you don't get paid straight away, it can be as much money as you want in it. You haven't really got it. I've had to change my bank as well. I don't know if you're aware of that. Nationwide don't do business accounts. So they said the account I'm using, they're going to close it and April the 14th. So I was like, got the bee in my bonnet. So basically 2 days later, I got the account switched over to someone else who I'm with, which is Starling. So I'm with Starling Online Banking. You can pay money in for a post office. I'm in a village. We've got a post office. Whereas with Nationwide, I have to drive 15 or 20 minutes out to a cash point to pay the money in and then drive back. So I'm avoiding that. So I'm with Starling basically. And so far, everything's been fine. I'm enjoying it with them. It's something else slightly different to learn. And obviously, I use Zero's bookkeeping, so they're all tied in. I've got all that done. Matt's just saying, when Sophie leaves, will he still take the trolley out of you? Good question. I think we're going to, because I will carry the spare barrels of water in the van and I need the trolley in there to stop the barrels moving around in my van, because I use a ratchet strap on the floor of my van round the trolley to another point. When we tighten it, keeps all the barrels in the back of the van. But I may take all that out. It depends, because I'll say with Matthew, we're going to have to, even just two of us, we're going to come back to fill up with water anyway. And if we maybe drove back to have our lunch at home, we can refill the van, but everything will just be out of my tank of water, as opposed to lifting up 25 kilograms of water out of the barrel to fill up the main tank. Sometimes it's handy to have, because we can just about get a full day's work done on it, and then other days we have to come home anyway. So I'm going to tweak it and see. And there's not many jobs where I'd really need the trolley without Sophie working for me, where I could use my gardener's backpack instead for the handy bits. That's just easy to grab, isn't it? And walk for a garage, that sort of thing, compared to the trolley. But the trolley's good. It holds a decent amount of water. But yeah, if it's just me and Matthew, I might just thin it down so it's just me and Matthew's gear and the tank, and we'll just get the spare water and the trolley completely out of the van, full stop. So that's something I'm going to toy around with and play. And we might find some days we need it in there, and then most of the time we don't. Certainly when I go to a Coningsby day, because I travel like an hour to get there, we would probably take the whole lot, because I need the spare water. There's nowhere near there where I can fill up. No cleans tomorrow, but having to make it up for the rest of the week. Yeah, because you've got your van, haven't you done, Matt? And then, yeah, I can fit my gutter vac in. When we do a gutter days, I take out the 45-litre trolley and the 8 25-litre barrels of water, take them out. And what I can do is I can fit everything I need in the back for my gutter days. So that's the massive Sky Vac, the biggest generator they do. I've got that, me industrial 85, and then obviously I've got me 25-meter extension lead. I think it's the 5-litre metal jerry can. I've got the ramps so I can put the stuff in and out of the van without having to lift it. They'll go in the back as well. And then I've got the big flexi buckets, me ladder stay to go on my ladder when I need that, brush and dustpan to clear anything up that way. So all the other stuff that I use for gutter vac all goes in the back as well. So that all fits in, but we can't do it when we've got it set up with window cleaning only, if that makes sense. Yeah, I did think about a transfer pump. Yeah, fill up the main tank with barrels, but I think you have to. I was looking at it. It's just quicker to tip it in. The ones I was looking at were on Gardeners, and they sort of like Gardeners website. I don't know if I could show you. Actually, we'll have a quick look. I happen to be on there. That's all. God, what would it be underneath? All products, I take it. Will it be under backpack? Might not be under there. I'll have a look. Here we are. Yeah, they do this. So basically, it's a little submersible pump, and then by the looks of it, you crocodile clip it onto your battery, so it'd be my leisure battery. And then you can use that, drop it in, but I don't know if it actually fit. I think that just fits in your main tank actually, and then you could use that to transfer out into a backpack. I think that's what that is. I I don't think that'd fit in a 25-litre barrel, no. So I wouldn't know what I'd use there. Sorry, I had the wrong thing on my mind there. But it doesn't come out that fast. 30 litres per minute. Okay, that's not too bad actually. But again, I think that's basically, what's it saying? Suitable for pumping water from your vehicle tank or water drums, okay, into your backpack or trolley system. So maybe something like that I could, and then you just drop it in, then use it, transfer it out. Right, I kind of see. Yeah, and if you go off the crocodile clips and the size of the pump, maybe that would fit in. Just drop it in and off you go. That could be a good idea there, Matt. Is that sort of like what you're, sorry, Ched, as you. Is that what you're kind of like thinking of, is it, Ched? Be able to get a compact gutter vac and keep it there all the time. Yeah, the small ones, they are handy for that. Nelly's saying we've just changed from Virgin Money to Bonzo Bank. Virgin has been terrible since they sold out. Didn't they sell out to Nationwide, have they, as well? It's been a nightmare changing the Go Cardless over. Really, mine was all right. I just changed my details with Go Cardless, and then all the money's been going into my new bank account. And same with Stripe as well, with the automatic payments. And I've just changed all, obviously, my banking details on my invoices, let all my customers know I've changed bank as well for those that do bank transfer, and bunged it on my website. It does cause a lot of admin, doesn't it? Right, window washer. Yeah, it's funny how decent start to the year. It's just January's been horrible for me in terms of not getting work done because of the weather. So I just catch up with Ched. Those ones wouldn't fit in the opening of my barrels. Had to buy one off Amazon. Then you could transfer spare water to your main tank. So no need to go home. Yeah. I think when me and Matthew have done it, I think even just going off the barrels, it's kind of got us through it as well. It's something for me to think about, that's for sure. Because lifting them up and down, it's going to do people's backs in, isn't it? You're never going to be stood how you're supposed to be in the back of a van, lifting up those barrels of water. So it's definitely something to think about. Dawn saying, does it fit into 25-litre barrels? Ched's saying it probably wouldn't on his ones. Let's try and find it again, sorry. It's backpack, wasn't it? Is this one? Yeah, so 12-volt submersible transfer. It says 30 litres per minute. And then this bit here, it does say, suitable for pumping water from your vehicle storage tank or water drums, whether it's the 25-litre barrels that we all know and use of, I'm assuming it is, into your backpack or system. And then I was just thinking, looking at the crocodile clips to the size of the actual pump and going off the size of that O-ring and the hose as well, if it'd actually slide in, might be a bit tight. But it's £26.50 plus 20% VAT and post and packaging, won't it? Could be worth a punt, but the problem is I'd have to have them crocodile clips onto my battery, and mine's underneath a cover, and I just couldn't be bothered fanning around with undoing stuff, to be honest. But it is something to look at. It could be a good idea, or could have a separate battery, couldn't you, in the back of your van just for that? You just take it out and charge it. But this is on the gardener's website, mate, and then Ched said he's brought some in from Amazon, so it's probably cheaper and just does the job as well. So I'd probably ask Ched, mate. Now you could have the pump running while you're still cleaning. So as in, you mean when you're transferring water, say, out of a 25-litre barrel to top up your main tank, so you could be cleaning away while that's doing? Because sometimes me and Matthew, we'll just, one person's working while one person's filling up, if we had to, out the 25-litre barrel. But if I can avoid it, I'd go home and just prefer to say, let's have something to eat, use the toilet, have a cup of tea, and then just fill up the main tank and get out there. And I suppose that's also, doing it that way is going to make me stay more local, isn't it? But when I'm in Wisbeach, it's like 15, 20-minute drive home, 15, 20-minute drive back out there. So That can be like 30 to 40 minutes. Plus, you're going to fill up the van and have a cup of tea. So it's around about an hour you've lost. But if I can get the day's work done, gives you a rest, I suppose. Oh, okay. So you've got one of those Adorn window cleaning, mate. Be interesting. So does it fit the 25-litre barrels? Does it, mate? Oh yeah, sorry, you've just answered that. So it keeps your barrels in your backpack. Yeah, Ched's saying to Matt, just when your main tank is getting low, use the barrels to refill the main tank. Yeah. And like Ched's saying, use a transfer pump rather than lifting up 25 kilograms of water to fill up your main tank. Mark saying, have you thought of taking a DI vessel in the van and fill up at a customer's house when needing to top up? My van's just delivery system only, because rather than having the reverse osmosis and DI, which I need on the tank, I got advised to have that separate. So it's a static. So it's in my shed filling up an IBC tank. So it's making water while I'm working. So when I come home to refill, just transfer it into my main tank and I can go straight out working while that's producing more water for me. And then when I come home, finish at the end of the day, there's enough there to just refill up my tank again for the next day. And then obviously it's making water up again after that. So that's the way I work. But my water TDS is 260 parts per million. So if I did have a DI vessel, it's going to go through the resin really, really quick. So for where I am, I need the reverse osmosis basically. But I know like some people have it on the van as well as what I do is a static. So you can, if you're on a big job and you're going to be there a while, it can be trickling and feeding up your van. But where I am, the house pressures aren't really good neither. So I need a booster pump. So I probably have to have one of them fitted on the van as well. It could be an option. I know people who do commercial stuff do it that way as well, don't you? Because you're there all day sort of thing and you need the extra water. But it is an idea. Leave clips connected to the battery via a fuse as the pump has a switch. Oh, okay, in answer to what Matt's saying now, I get what you're saying. So it's not running all the time. So it's got you can turn it on and off basically. An old backpack battery that you can charge at home. Yeah, you'd know more about that than me because I'm not that clever. Spoilt 525 litres, just me on your own, right? And you never run out. Yeah, and someone told me a 500-litre tank is enough for one person to work. Whereas me and Matthew, two people, you need an 800-litre tank. That's what they're saying. And bear in mind, I've got a 500-litre tank and I'm carrying 200 litres of water spare and 25-litre tubs. So it's got to be some truth in that. Nelly saying we have the X-line tanks and have an inline pump between the tank and the trigger to fill the X-line trolley for when the water's running low. I've got you because I've got what they call a transfer hose. So yeah, where the water's going off, it sounds like similar to mine. Your pump, they've also got a fit in there, so it comes out in that some big black hose with a trigger on the end. I can use that to fill up me backpack or the trolley. Problem is, as when you get to about half a tank, it starts to slow down then because obviously it's gravity fed. So the less water in my tank, the slower the water is coming out. That's why I find the 25-litre barrels, just turn them upside down in under 30 seconds. That's just in the trolley. And then it's quicker that way. But if we're not got too busy days, sometimes I tell Sophie, just fill it out, the transfer pump. Because I don't like her lifting up all that heavy water sometimes, just to make life easier. We just play around, don't you, and try different stuff. But yeah, I've got a transfer hose, which does come in handy. But like I said, as the day goes on, it starts to slow down. Ches saying it RODI with booster is on a van. All right, 400-litre tank, but roof too low to top up. Right, with your barrel. Mine's all right, but when I've got them tube holders, like the drain pipes, the X line sort of fitted in, they'd be too low. But luckily for me, there's one either side of the actual hole for the main tank, so I can slide the barrel there and then tip it upside down, and in it goes. Matt saying, I never use more than 350 litres a day, even if you're doing some fascia cleans. Wow. That's good, that is. Yeah, we do. Perhaps I'm still over cleaning to some degree. I don't know. But it's just getting confidence, isn't it? And that's what I say to my son, just clean something until it's clean. That's it. But I'll have to look at some of the video footage, because I've noticed when I speed stuff up, my pole's moving faster than Matthew sometimes. But we're not getting complaints, I suppose. We had one call back after the big storm. That's what that was. But other than that, we don't get many. So it's learning how to push it, isn't it? And Matthew's going to have to try and speed things up here and there, because when we lose Sophie, it's me and him taking the brunt, basically. Yeah, wide brush, turn up the water flow. Okay, it's a game changer. Yeah, I've still got the 26 centimetre one. I was hoping to get the 35, but I didn't get one. If I have some better months and start getting in the profit, I'll definitely look at using one. That's for sure. And I suppose if you're cleaning houses quite regularly and they're not really that dirty, your maintenance cleans are going to be easier as well, aren't they? But you can also say it's going to be seasonal, because when we get the weather's bad time of the year, and then summer, you've got, like me, farmers, crops, they make a mess of windows and all the bugs. And you'll probably find as well, don't you? You get a lot of pollen on the glass where people have got a lot of flowers nearby as well. And all that will come back. But we're dreaming, aren't we? We've still got to put up with the rest of winter as yet. Would be nice to have summer. But then we'd be moaning it's too hot and we've got to wear sunglasses all the time in order to see. So Ched's just saying, defo a bigger brush. Takes a little to get used to, but after that it's much quicker. Yeah, I can see. I'm going to have to get one, but I'll have to wait till my profit goes up a bit. Less passes, isn't it? It's the cobwebs though. They're the ones, they like super glue, some of them in the corners. It's always on something that's hard to reach. Matt's just saying PB Pro Clean, which is Paul, has just started using a wider brush and said he's never going back. So that's 3 people just mentioning it now. I'm glad I stuck 3 fingers up then. So there you go. Oh, I can't even say that word. Photochromatic lenses, so much kinder to your eyes, as that are cheap. Can you have them so they're like prescription ones as well? Because I wanted reactive lenses when I got these, but because they're for driving, they said you can't have it. Yeah, you're not allowed them. So I've got a set of these, and then I've got a set of these, but with tinted glasses, so it's like prescription sunglasses, so to speak. And that's what I use. But it's a faff taking your glasses on and off, especially when there's that awkward time of year where you're around the front of the house in the sun, you need sunglasses. You go around the back and I have to take them off, put my normal glasses on. I could just take my glasses off, to be honest, because when it's raining, I have to take my glasses off because I can't see with my glasses on and I can't really see with them off. Now, I'm all right, actually. It's just for watching telly and driving, but I wear these all the time. It's like 4 HD when I've got these on, and when I'm off, it's not. And I need newer glasses. But when I can afford the money, it's a problem, isn't it? You always, doctors, that's the other thing when you're getting older. You get appointments to go and see the doctor, and I'm always like, but I can't. It means I've got to stop working, and I can't afford to stop working. And you go see the doctor, and they're not really, it's just sitting there waiting, and you're just thinking I'm throwing away money here. I wouldn't mind if I had the time. Ches saying, yeah, that prescription with lenses that auto darken. Oh, okay, an extra £60 for photochromatic. So how did you get them, Ched, through Asda? Is it because they've got like an optician's in that particular Asda, or do you go through someone else, but an optician's, but you can get the stuff from there? It'd be interesting to know, because I definitely need my eyes tested, because I'm sure I need new glasses. I'm supposed to be tested every 2 years, and I've had these for eight 8 years now. But yeah, I need them. Nelly's saying you use a 500 litre per man per day. We do have the pump control on 70. Yeah, mine's on 50. I used to, when I started, I believe it, I was on 25. Then I put it to 30, and I was on there for years. Then I tried it on 40, and now I've pushed it to 50, and I think it's fine for me. But yeah, 70. You just got to play around, haven't you, really, and just feel what you think's right. But it's interesting. I think Matt has his up round 70, 80. Ched saying, as far as you're aware, all opticians, okay, do these lenses. All right, your local Asda has an opticians. Okay, we've got an Asda near us, but I don't think there's an opticians in there. But I'll definitely look into it. Thanks for that. All that kind of stuff. I'll ask these questions. Photochromatic lenses. Yeah. They're definitely the ones I'd like. Say, keep having different glasses, taking them on and off. It's a faff, because all in your head is like, I just want to clean this house as quick as I can. And then someone comes over and speaks to you for about half an hour. You're like, ugh. But that's life. Matt's saying, I think I might need to turn my pump controller down when you have a new leisure battery. Yeah, and you've got all that set up. It'd be interesting to see what effect it has, wouldn't it, really? Okay, callback cost more than the water used. Yeah. But you've got to go to these callbacks, really, haven't you? Because some people, it's a big thing for them to phone you to say something. So if you didn't go down after all that, but at least if you turn up, I think they just know anyway, don't they? I suppose your customers. That's why I'll always go back. So I always want to have a look at it and see what's wrong or who cleaned that window, because there's three of us. So it's like a teaching point, or work out what caused it so we can work something out. You can always learn from it and try and understand. Because sometimes when people speak, we don't always communicate very well. Someone says one thing, but you think it meant something else, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I always like to go around on callbacks and have a look. And they always thank you for coming back as well. As the glasses start at £45, okay, including the varifocal ones in if needed, and an extra £60 for the darkening lenses. Got you. Cheers, Jed. I'm going to look into that. And he's just saying to Matt, Matt's having, I'll let Matt answer it, but he's having a, I've forgotten what it's called now, split charger refitted onto his van, because it wasn't done right in the first place by someone else who you would have thought better from. But Matt would tell you, Ched. Excuse me, some water. So screen doing weird and wonderful things when I press buttons. Yeah, so I'll have a look at the weather before I go to bed, but I ain't going to pay too much attention and see what it's like in the morning, but just at least have an idea. I've been wearing my waterproofs a lot lately, and they've stayed on as well. Talking of which, there's a I used to have like an old Berghaus jacket. It was over 10 years old, and it was just water was just coming through it. So I saw in the TikTok shops, because I didn't have much money at the time, £16, and I thought, well, I'll go for it, because if it's no good for work, it might be all right for walking the dogs. It won't be a complete waste of money. And actually, to work in, it's been spot on for 16 quid. So I'm happy with that. So I matched this answer in there, Ched. It's saying the battery they had fitted was, okay, 75 AH, and you're having 110 one, so it's better one. And is it the split relay charger as well, or something? You said, Matt. I've forgotten what my battery is. I just know it's the X Line one anyway. And like I said, that lasted me, God, 8 years. So it did well. See, all this stuff is way of me, and I just do what I'm told. It's all fun and games, things you have to learn and deal with, I suppose, isn't it? It's like Matt was saying, if he got another van, he would go for probably a DIY build this time rather than having a company install it. Because, like I say, you find little niggles and you feel like they've let you down, really, with the money you've spent. Whereas if it was you doing that, you would do the best you can for someone, if that makes sense. But I suppose when they're employing people, they're just in a rush to fire them out and go home, aren't they? It's all quality control, really, at the end of the day. It's like it is in the military, isn't it? People fix stuff, but someone comes along to check before another stage is carried out. If it ain't done right, you get shafted. But yeah, I thought about DIY build, but my DIY stuff is rubbish. So that's what I like about the installation. And just drive down, pick it up next day, good to go. I think there's a customer of mine. I won't go into too much, but he's basically buying and selling vans, and he managed to buy as a custom 65 plate, 100,000 miles on it, one owner. And I was like, that's really good. Because I was selling them, I went, there'd be loads of window cleaners who'd buy snap vans up like that. I paid double that for my van. Which should be going strong because it's got a reconditioned engine in it, and I spent a bit, and it just passed the last MOT, no problems for once. But yeah, I was thinking maybe if I was to get another van, I've thought if I needed to grow or something like that, is to put Matthew in a van on his own with his own set of customers. He does his thing, I do my thing, and we finish when we finish. And then the harder he works, the more money he earns, basically. But then again, it's nice to be with someone. And I think the customers we've got like it, that you're a family. They love me, Sophie and Matthew. And then the big jobs where my wife comes out as well, me, other younger kids, especially your elderly customers, you know, when they've got loads of people they can speak to separately while you're working, and then they've all got smiles at the end, and yeah, it all works well, but you've got to juggle to make it work with one van. Ched saying some people saying insurance companies getting iffy, okay, on your DIY installs. Yeah. I can imagine, you know what I mean? You need certain people fitting stuff with certain certifications, I suppose, to prove it, like your gas boiler, I suppose, if they're doing it that way. But I can't see really the difference between you building it yourself and some guy working for someone else. I mean, they're drilling holes in your van and all sorts, aren't they, to get that stuff in? Because I had thought if you did it on yourself, I'd get a tank. See, the guy that does my van, Bren, he's really good. I'll ask him, how can you plate this or bolt it into me chassis or whatever on the van? He could do that. Any wiring, that sort of thing, I'd ask him to do it. You know what I mean? Take it to someone else to spray it. I don't know. I can see it. Insurance companies always cover their butts, don't they? They win at the end of the day. Matt's saying even buying a system from supply and get someone else who is a mechanic to then fit it can't be that much difference than the companies doing it. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you can buy all these systems supplied to you on a pallet as well, can't you? Ched saying I was lucky, brought a 2019 Peugeot partner with a full RODI streamlined system for the same price as an empty van. That's a winner, isn't it? That's a bonus, mate. Yeah, like I said, after around here, I've seen a couple more window cleaners out, a couple more vans that I've never seen before. So whether more people are starting up or someone's moved house, I don't know. I mean, I'm not worried. Like we've all said, there's plenty of windows out there for everyone. To be honest, it's nice to see other people out there giving it a go, isn't it? Matt saying, I think I've just had a bad experience. I'm sure everyone has at some point, mate. And I reckon, Matt, if we all tinkered with stuff, we'd find stuff hidden somewhere or maybe not done right, or someone's telling us it's not, you know what I mean? I'm sure we've all will find stuff. You're only happy when it seems to be working, but it's a good job you've spotted these things you've done now and you're addressing them, you know what I mean? But that particular company as well, I'd be surprised at. Remember when I first started, their big catalogue was massive. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying not to name the company, but it is any company to do something, and you're not happy when you find something out later of how it should have been is not right, is it? But it's not necessarily the company; it's the people working on that job. I think doing it, if you get what I mean. But it is a lot of money you're spending, isn't it? You'd expect more. Ched saying most pro companies will do a not so perfect job, but most are relatively easy to fix. Yeah, Matt's like identified it, and like I said, it'd be interesting to see, especially when he's saying if he has to turn down his flow on his pump and stuff like that, the difference it'll make. But I must admit, I'm happy with what I got from X-Line. It's done me well. It's still going. Right, I'll think about closing it and leaving it soon. Time's getting on, and then yeah, work tomorrow, and the action camera, that's all good to go for tomorrow. Get the video done there. The one I made Saturday will be coming out tomorrow, I believe. And then the one I'm making tomorrow, I'll try and get it done so that it will come out the following day. And I'll try that all for the rest of the month, but we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to fit in life and running and all that stuff. We'll see how it goes. Sorry, Nellie's saying insurance companies hate to pay out. Yeah, they do, don't they? We always get a local garage to fit your systems. Oh, okay. So you kind of get the stuff in and use them to fit it in. Yeah, that's what I'd have done with Bren, who fixes me van for me and MOTs it, keeps it all tip top. I trust him 100%. All right, Stitch is saying have a good, dry and calm week. Yeah, and I hope everyone has a cracking week. I'm definitely fingers crossed for me. And I hope the rest of the month goes that way as well. And yeah, I'll be 49 years old tomorrow. Way. Maybe I'll take the dog out in the evening for a pint or something. I don't know. But we'll find out. All right. That's it from me, everyone. Hope you all have a good time. And yes, just stay safe. And catch you next week. And look out for me videos during the week that will be coming out as well. Take care, everyone. Ooh,